Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Friday, July 7th, 2017, 772017, a very beautiful date, numerically speaking, and an important and significant one as well. The authorized souls in both the Lynn-Life and the Jamie-Body-Mind remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions and nature realm's guardians. And what do I know? I know that our attitudes are the only thing we actually have control over. And when we develop a habit of looking for the gifts in the situations, that life opens up and we stop resisting to life. And the reality is, in this current era, that we, in ground zero and in all the close by dimensions that are close to ground zero, we are living in an era of active body snatching, where lawlessness seems to be the order of the day when it comes to the soul-body connections, and souls feel free to abandon lives as they become inconvenient or difficult. And what do I know? I know in this era of inconvenient realities, all lives look inconvenient and difficult. All soul plans look inconvenient and difficult.
That's true.
And so to the souls, everything looks too hard, and they're just looking for excuses to bail, and they take the slightest little excuse and boom, they're out of there. What do I know? I also know that good souls are being shot down from above by those who don't like, by those in even larger dimensions who don't like people asking questions. And when souls start to ask questions that are hitting a little too close to home, what do I know? That we've seen them shot with these things that look like poison darts. It creates those sharp little pains. Ooh! And then we look at it and say, what happened? And there's nothing there, a sharp little pain. And then that soul starts leaking body fluids, and it looks like they rot from within. They just liquefy. It looks horrifying.
That's true.
So sometimes the souls abandon their lives because they're lazy souls, and sometimes the souls are blown out of the seat by those who wish for them to stop asking inconvenient questions. And sometimes they're pushed out of the seats by just straight up bullies, larger souls who want that life. They want something that they think they can get out of it, and what do I know? Their intentions feel exploitative.
That's true.
It doesn't feel like they have any intention whatsoever of helping the life. So the beautiful gift in this situation is that we have an opportunity to choose how to think about this. And one great opportunity is that we get to see a wide variety of souls passing through. And if we really want to pay attention, we can learn an incredible amount about what's going on in the big scheme of things just by paying attention to our dreams, and to begin with the question of who is the dreamer, and pay attention to how the dreamer is different night to night and week to week and month to month and year to year. It's true that they might show the same images of the lives, they might show the same cast of characters, but the question is, who is that person to the dreamer? And when we begin to pay attention to this with the inquiry of who is the soul operating through this body today, this host life today, to identify ourselves the way the souls identify the lives, which is as host lives, well, then we can learn an awful lot about what the souls are thinking and doing.
That's true.
And then we notice that it was crazy wishful thinking to think that the souls are really better people, quote unquote, than the people we see around us. It's just the same in all dimensions. The dimensions, what do I know? The dimensions are very tightly interwoven. All these people who are asking me what I know, I think they're trying, I'm supposed to say what I think is going on. They're asking what I know about the questions that start with, what do you know? I think they're just trying to find out what we are aware of how bad it is, how much we know, how much we can blow their cover so that they can blast out whatever souls are hanging around that have anything going on whatsoever and just leave us with the deadbeat low lives, which they do night after night.
That's true.
But you know what they don't get to say for us? They don't get to say. We have the right to live our lives in sacred space. It's up to us to create it. No one is going to solve this problem for each of us as individuals, except for each of us as individuals, because everybody else has got their own disaster going on, and they're up to their eyeballs too. And what do I know? I know everybody feels their problems are the worst.
That is true.
And that's statistically impossible. And when we actually look at the lives that are going on in the deeper, denser dimensions, their lives are so much worse, so much worse. It doesn't matter what dimension you're hearing these words on, whatever dimension you're living in right now, the deeper, denser dimensions, the dimensions that are deeper and denser than the one in which you're currently experiencing sentience, they have it worse.
That's true.
The cellular levels to these host lives have it so much worse than this level. The electron levels, they have it so much worse than the cellular levels. The quarks, the photons, it's just disastrous the way that their dimension is operating right now.
That's true.
Given the reality of these limited resources, what now? In order to manifest an actual divine plan that's based on actual sentiences in the dimensions in which they're actually experiencing sentience, with their actual intentions and actual awarenesses. What now? For example, we've run several tests. We didn't run them. Higher presences above are using these host lives to run tests, and it's okay. What do I know? I think that's okay, actually, because we are really trying to fulfill our soul contracts of manifesting an actual divine plan, not a fraudulent sham. We're not interested in that. And what do I know? I know that we didn't think to ask that question, and I know it makes us sound like imbeciles because we're 27 years into this process. Why did it take the collective operating through here 27 years to ask the question of, let's hold on, let's look at that actual divine plan. Is it actually based on real information? What is the nature of this projection? Because things are going from bad to worse extremely rapidly, and so something has gone awry somewhere. And then when we begin to look at how the projections are put together, and it is helpful to have 20 years as a CPA to be able to bring that skill set to the table. We look at the projections that the so-called divine plan was based on, and it's just puff. It's just sales lies.
That's true.
And we're not interested. This collective has no interest whatsoever in manifesting a fantasy. We want to manifest an actual divine plan that's based on actual sentiences in the dimensions in which they're actually experiencing sentience. Like, don't include billions of dead people. That's crazy. And that so-called divine plan right now includes billions with a B, billions of presences who are dead from ground zero's perspective. They have transitioned to a less dense dimension.
That's true.
And their soul plans are still on the books, as if those people are still going to keep their sacred vows to spirit before they die, which is impossible because they're dead.
That's true.
Now they're living in other dimensions, and that's the technicality that's being used. And what do I know? I think that's revolting for presences to purport to be putting together a divine plan and to be using lies that are based on technicalities. So friends, it's actually just better to say, got it. I thought the higher powers over us were wise, benevolent beings, but that doesn't hold up under scrutiny. And it's actually better to know. And what now. So we're going to do some self-care techniques right now that you are free to join in. Feel free to join in on these self-care techniques, and we do these and many other self-care techniques daily, on a daily basis. At the end of the workday, the last hour of the workday is supposed to be devoted to this refresh the energy body, our daily refresh, because otherwise things go from bad to worse very quickly.
That's true.
We have the right to live our lives in sacred space, but it is up to us to create it. So with that, today's refresh begins.